Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. The state government's put a stop to uncertainty over its local government review, saying they won't force amalgamations. The call's been welcomed by councils, but the opposition's accused them of scuttling the review.
It's back to the drawing board on plans to redraw council borders.
We have listened and there will be no forced local government amalgamations. That discussion has led to concern and has led to fear and uncertainty.
The future of local government review will be finalised by the end of October. Mergers will only proceed if the community and councils themselves agree.
What we're trying to do is remove the uncertainty that exists in the local government sector, which has meant that there have been councils who have chosen not to engage in this process. We want all 29 councils to engage in the process going forward.
It's been one of the real main themes as we talk about community and losing a voice. This has all been answered.
Councils have broadly welcomed the reset as the conversation moves past mergers.
I think there's been broad agreement that reform is required in local government, but we just don't agree as a group of councillors on what that should be.
The review's interim report said voluntary mergers rarely work. Tasmania currently has 29 councils, but it remains to be seen how many we'll end up with without the power to force amalgamations.
On seeing if we can create a East Coast Council, but the community has to be on board with that.
As the second largest council in the state with a population of 63,000 people and extraordinarily well managed, there's no burning need or indeed desire for Clarence to amalgamate with anyone.
Labor had called for a guarantee of no forced mergers, but they're still not satisfied.
They have led the community to feel very uncertain. What kind of feedback are communities and councils actually going to be able to give through this process now that it's been scuttled by Jeremy Rockliff and his minister?
Council amalgamations are politically fraught and were proving divisive within the Liberal Party. The Premier says this isn't about easing those concerns, nor will they derail his reform agenda.
It's about bringing the community along with us.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Back home, and Homes Tasmania has been lashed for poor communication with tenants that it's moving on. Vicky has lived in her Chigwell home for 37 years, but it's soon being demolished for an infill project. She and her partner Rob face uncertainty, receiving a generic letter informing them about the project.
When they phoned the government to try to get information, the people on the end of the phone didn't know what they were talking about or about the housing development that's proposed.
It made me feel quite uncertain as to what was going on because, if anybody should know what was going on, they should know.
A Homes Tasmania spokesperson assured that Vicky and Rob will be supported into alternative homes and they would be contacted in person tomorrow. Tasmanians are being reassured the quality of eggs won't change once sweeping industry changes come into effect. It comes amid growing concerns the price of a carton could skyrocket once caged eggs are phased out after Agriculture Ministers voted on a 2036 end date.
We're willing to work with industry on any transition to ensure that the consumers obviously get value for money and that the products that they source are ethically produced.
Coles and Woolworths are on track to take caged eggs off its shelves by 2025. Curious minds have taken a leap into the unknown, turning up to the final day of a psychic expo in Launceston. The masterminds behind the event seeing higher numbers, with the cost of living crisis at the forefront for many.
Seeing into the future, more believers tapping into the psychic world, healing from a challenging few years.
COVID has been very difficult for people. I think the current economic climate and the problems people are having is a very big part of the questions we're getting at the moment.
Embracing the energy from the world around them, collecting calming crystals.
It's a very sensory experience for how we get our information.
Community members ready to sit down, seek spiritual advice and even a chance connection with a loved one.
It can be emotional because I feel like it's quite an honour to be able to do this work, to have that ability to share that information with someone.
Professionals hoping to break down common misconceptions.
There is a bit of fear that people bring to this work, and I think we try to demystify that too, you know, to put them at ease, and then they have a really great experience.
Encouraging more people to look into the crystal ball and embrace the magic. Victoria Eastoe, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian has boarded a special plane to Hamilton Island, joining passengers on a trip marking Starlight's 13,000th wish. Hobart local Xander among the VIPs embarking on the journey, recognising the charity's milestone in helping bring a little extra light to sick children.
A Starlight Wish gives these children something really wonderful and powerful to look for on the other side of their treatment or their surgeries and their time in hospital.
10 families have been enjoying time at the heart of the Great Barrier Reef, renamed Happiness Island, for the weekend. Hobart's Ukrainian Club has hosted the launch of a new book aimed at children who've moved to Australia. Titled Forest Adventures, the bilingual book is a collection of poetry about Australia's flora and fauna. Combined with traditional Ukrainian illustration, it's designed to help children learn English and integrate into the community.
I think for children it's very important to be involved in natural life and to be involved to the community.
The book can be purchased through online retailers. If you recently bought a lottery ticket from a Howrah news agency, there's a chance you could be Tasmania's newest millionaire. A winning ticket worth $1.25 million was purchased from the Shoreline News Express on Saturday, July 1. However, the winning person is not a registered player, meaning officials haven't been able to track them down.
Thankfully, most major lottery winners do check their tickets within a week or two, so we really do hope this is the case for this winner.
Tasmanians have 12 months to claim lottery prizes before the money is passed to the Treasury Department. Riley Sanders' draft credentials have been boosted, winning Best Player at the Under-18 National Championships. The North Launceston product claiming this year's Lark medal following a stellar tournament. Averaging 35 disposals a game, he played a key role in the Allies' unbeaten premiership campaign. Sanders is predicted to be in demand at the draft, with the midfielder likely to be a top 10 pick. Clarence have scored a win over Kingborough Lions in the Women's Super League to move back into the top 4. 2 goals in the first half setting up the victory, also breaking a 2-game losing streak.
Clarence and Kingborough are in unusual positions this season, both closer to the bottom than top of the ladder. The Zebras getting on the board in stunning fashion just 5 minutes in.
Burt with a cracking finish, and she finds the top corner. That's a superb setup and beautiful goal.
Just before half-time, the home side doubled their lead.
Sega with some excellent pace, but that is a great finish from Graciela Baez.
Those 2 goals enough for Clarence to take out a win. In the NPL, South Hobart were too strong for Launceston City. 2 goals either side of half-time, sealing their 5th win in a row. At Kingston, this group of players was digging volleyball. Round 1 of the State League Volleyball taking place this weekend. 7 women's and 6 men's teams will play across 3 matches, ahead of the finals in September. Van Diemen's and the Utah side both looking to defend their titles. In Premier League hockey, 4 first quarter goals had the Northwest Graduates flying against OHA. They added 4 more to thump the Wooden Spoon contenders 8-0. OHA having better luck in the women's match. After a scoreless first term, they hit the front in the second quarter before adding a second after half-time. Northwest drew one back, but OHA would hold on to win narrowly. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Australia's women's underwater rugby team has finished 4th at the World Championships in Canada. Featuring 2 Tasmanians, the Aussies were looking to score bronze against Germany this morning. But 3 early goals from the European powerhouses ended that dream by half-time. Australia scoring a consolation at the end, but it wasn't enough. The Germans claiming a 4-goal victory. The men's side made it to the quarterfinals.
Good evening. Showers were seen about the west and south today, while the central, north and east coast remained fine. 15 was the top across Launceston, Devonport and Burnie, Hobart 14. 16 was the state's top in Friendly Beaches, St Helens 15 and 14 across Flinders Island and Low Head. Mostly cloudy conditions are seen about the western and central areas of Tasmania, with partly cloudy conditions elsewhere. Further out, a ridge lies across southern Australia and is directing low cloud over coastal and inland Queensland. Tomorrow, showers are expected about the west and north, fine elsewhere. Fresh northwesterly winds tomorrow, 20 to 30 knots, swells up to 6 metres in the west and south and up to 2 metres in the north. A gale warning is current for the southeast coast and west coast, and a strong wind warning for Storm Bay, southwest lakes, central north, Bank Strait, Franklin Sound, Flinders Island and the east coast. Tomorrow's forecast now: Hobart and Ooze, partly cloudy, Dover a possible shower. In the north, Launceston and Devonport a shower or 2, showers and 13 in Scottsdale. Burnie tomorrow 14, windy with showers about Strawn and Stanley. St Helens partly cloudy, 17 in Swansea and Ross 15. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now: Tuesday, showers easing in the north in the late afternoon with fresh northwesterly winds. Wednesday, patches of morning frost and fog with light showers in the northwest during the evening. And Thursday, showers about the north and west. Capital cities 20 and partly cloudy in Perth tomorrow. Adelaide 15 and sunny in Melbourne. And currently Hobart 12 and mostly cloudy, Launceston 11, partly cloudy and Devonport 11 and mostly clear. That's all in weather, Lou.
And that's all your news for now. Thank you for joining us tonight. Kim will be back with you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Good night.